Are you ready to be taken down the deepest, darkest, Deadrop, Midnight Society conspiracy theory rabbit hole that you have heard so far? 'Cause this is what this video is about. I'm Mayor Reynolds, aka Midnight Mayor, and I just interviewed 402 Robert Bowling about all things Deadrop for over an hour, and I've been sitting here thinking about his answers and, obviously analyzing them, thinking about what maybe is he referencing, what is he telling us with all these things, and I might be onto something. Okay? Before I go any further, we're gonna go down a rabbit hole. We're gonna lay some evidence. We're gonna make a case. This video is pure speculation, and it is wild, and it is exciting. But I want to be clear: this is not confirmed. This is fun speculation related to Deadrop, Midnight Society, Dr. Disrespect, so on and so forth. So, where do we start here? Let me lay the table for you. During my interview with 402, Robert Bowling, studio head of Midnight Society, I asked him a question about Deadrop transmedia. And what I mean by this is, when you say transmedia, you think of a franchise that is across multiple different forms of release, right? Maybe like movies, TV shows, video games, books. That's transmedia. It's transcending just a singular form of entertainment or medium. So I asked Rob, what would you like to see Deadrop related? Like down the road, what would you like to see? And this was his answer.
I also think doing a animated series is also very likely, like a very mature, Invincible style animated series would lend itself very well with the type of narrative that we do, because everything we do is very character faction driven, which is a deep bench for storytelling.
Okay.
So those are the two things I think would be most compelling.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a while. Like, I think we need to build a lot of stuff before we get to like the feature film level type stuff.
So Rob said not only could there be a comic series down the road, because we already know that there's been little teases, there's in-game comics already, but he also said that he thinks an animated series for Deadrop is likely. He didn't say, I would love to see it. He didn't say, we've talked about it. No confirmation, obviously. But he didn't say it purely speculatively either. He used the word likely, which is a very strong word. Likely means probable to happen. Now, this could have been just his choice of words. This could have just been the way it came out, the way the sentence came out, and he meant nothing further. Or did he mean more? Join me down this rabbit hole. Back in 2019, it was announced that Dr. Disrespect was going to be developing a television series based on the character, Dr. Disrespect, and he had partnered with Skybound Entertainment to develop this series. That hadn't been picked up by Netflix or Paramount or Amazon or whoever, but he had partnered with Skybound Entertainment to develop this series, and he specifically said there's been early discussions around animation. That's basically where all the details ended. Since 2019, we have heard nothing about this show, but I'm going to explain a little bit why and why I think there could be some smoke here, and where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. Skybound Entertainment, if you didn't know, is the company owned, operated, founded by Robert Kirkman. If you don't know who Robert Kirkman is the guy who created The Walking Dead, the comic series. He also created Invincible, the hit comic series, and now animated series on Amazon Prime, that Invincible. What series did 402 reference when he said Deadrop animated series? He specifically said, like Invincible. Now, did Rob just pick that series out of a hat because it's a mature themed animated series? That of all the animated series in the world, he just think of that one because he really likes Invincible? Totally possible. Or is there more to this? So we all know that things change for Dr. Disrespect as a character, as a brand, and for the person, Guy Beam, who created Dr. Disrespect, sometime in 2020 when there's what I will call a disagreement between Dr. Disrespect, Guy Beam, and Twitch. Not going to talk a lot about that. But what we saw from there were a lot of changes to the brand, the character. So 2020, here's a timeline for you. 2019, Dr. Disrespect, Skybound series gets announced. 2020, Dr. Disrespect, Twitch, divorce. Okay. 2021, Midnight Society gets announced. The studio developing Deadrop formally gets announced. And Dr. Disrespect had publicly referenced ideas for a game, a shooter based around verticality as early as 2018. This concept had been kicking around in his head, and we don't know exactly how much of the concept that became Deadrop was in his head back then, right? But he had referenced it as that far back. So 2021, Midnight Society gets announced. The studio that's making Deadrop, their first project is Deadrop, announced in 2021. I have speculated for a long time that I think Dr. Disrespect as a character will appear in Deadrop, the video game. The character is already in the universe based on just the variants alone, 93 and 94, that type of stuff, the ARG. There's tons of groundwork to support the character of Dr. Disrespect being in Deadrop. Not confirmed, but there's a trail there, right? Now fast forward in 2023 and 402, Robert Bowling, studio head at Midnight Society, says in an interview with me, that video's on the channel by the way, check it out, that a Deadrop animated series is likely. And he, again, we're talking down the road, and this is what I think happened. This is my crazy speculation. Are you ready? What if Dr. Disrespect signs this deal with Skybound for a Dr. Disrespect animated series? Somewhere along the way, in developing that or fleshing it out, the plan for Midnight Society and Deadrop comes together. And we all know that things change for the Dr. Disrespect as a character and brand a lot in between those times. What if, somewhere along the way, Dr. Disrespect, Rob, whoever else at Midnight Society, and Skybound say, what if instead of doing an actual Dr. Disrespect series, what if we did a Deadrop animated series instead? Which would explain a lot of things, such as this absolute silence in almost 4 years between when this Dr. Disrespect series was announced and then no news since. What if, because Dr. Disrespect is likely going to be a character in Deadrop, they say, instead of just making a Dr. Disrespect series, why don't we make this something much bigger? Dr. Disrespect will still be in this series, but let's do down the road, if everything lines up, let's make this series that we're doing, this Dr. Disrespect series, Skybound, a Deadrop series. And that's why Rob specifically name-dropped, like, Invincible during the interview. Now, let's be clear. He also name-dropped Jim Lee, who is now head of DC Comics, because he worked with Jim Lee way back in the Modern Warfare comics, way back when. None of this is confirmed. None of this is even close to confirmed. None of this has been leaked. I am putting together breadcrumbs and performing some fun speculation here. And if we did see a Deadrop animated series of any kind, whether it be with Skybound, DC, Midnight Society Studios, they form their own live-action branch or animation branch, we're probably talking years down the road. If they were going to do a Deadrop series, 12 AM needs to actually lay the groundwork for the universe and the characters and the factions right before Skybound can really do anything. Skybound's going to want some material to work with. They would obviously work directly with Midnight Society as well, but Midnight Society needs to decide all this stuff themselves, right? And that's going to take some time. So maybe that's what's going on, why this Dr. Disrespect series, maybe there's no word about it, because maybe it's become a Deadrop series. And again, to be clear, it could be that there's just no movement on that front. Maybe Dr. Disrespect and Skybound dropped the whole project. Maybe, who knows, right? It could be anything. There could be absolutely nothing here. Maybe I don't have a leg to stand on. But if you think I do, I think that there could be more to this, let me know down in the comments. Would you like to see a Deadrop animated series? Do you think it could happen? Is there something to what I'm saying? Or am I just taking 402's words and I'm getting way too excited? And that's that. Let me know what you think, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Deadrop Midnight Society news. This has been Mayor Reynolds Midnight Mayor. Hope you had fun with the video. Mayor Reynolds out. This video is sponsored by Control. Control is gamers' go-to brand for protein, for nutrition. This is stuff that gamers have not traditionally done very well with, right? We all got that gamer diet where we eat Doritos and things that we shouldn't eat. Control is your solution to that. And you can use code MAYOR at checkout to get 10% off. They have these meal shakes, meal replacement shakes, protein shakes, whatever you want to call them. And they've got amazing flavors like cinnamon toast, cookies and cream, peanut butter crunch, fruity flakes, cocoa crunch, apple smacks, gingerbread cookie. My personal recommendations is gingerbread is really good. Cinnamon toast is really good. Think of your favorite cereal and then think of it in protein shake form. You're gonna love these flavors. It's gonna help with your nutrition. And more of us gamers need to think about this. So, use code MAYOR at checkout to get 10% off. We'll see you out there.